Hello and welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Retail Podcast. And this week we're going into the wonderful world of, actually, to be fair, rather than spoil it, I always love the guests that talk about what they do, because I'll do a hash job of describing what you do, Julia. I've read about what you do, who you do it for, and I think once you start talking, everyone will recognize the brand. And obviously you have a pivotal role in helping that brand grow across the region. So, Julia, welcome to the show.
Yes, so I think Elkjøp, if I say Elkjøp, that will probably not say too much to your podcast listeners, but you will probably know our owners, Currys. So we are basically Currys, but based in the Nordics. So we are the Vikings of the Currys, based in Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland, selling the best electronics to our nation. Oh. So we are the company with the biggest market share, and I'm director of e-commerce. So I'm trying to keep it there.
That's fantastic. This is curiosity. Does MediaMarkt Saturn come into your region?
You know, they tried, Alex, but we actually pushed them away. They were in Sweden for 8 years. They tried to kick us out, but Elgiganten, they just pushed too hard. So MediaMarkt had to leave the market.
Oh, right. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Because they've just been acquired or gone into a partnership with JD.com. But anyway, we're not going to talk about them.
Okay. We will not spend time on that.
But yeah, I've noticed, I've been reading about your profile. I've been reading about some of the things that you've said. And one of the things that I read about it, you've said that Norway is about to undergo its biggest e-commerce revolution since the dawn of the internet, but that you're not worried of that because of your people. So what I'm really curious about, what are the specific, if you like, mindsets, qualities that you feel that you have from a people perspective? Like if we start with the people and then we can sort of take it from there. But yeah, I'm curious on your opinion.
Yes. No, because, you know, AI is everywhere. I don't think you can go to any discussion about technology or what is going around in e-commerce without being scared by virtual assistants taking over, websites becoming obsolete, and of course, AI taking also our jobs, period. But when you look into this in more detail, the AI assistant, they will also need to shop somewhere. They need to find the information somewhere. So you have to have that catalog of products and understand even more about who is the best provide the service for the end customer. Because also virtual assistant, they have the end customer best interest in mind. Otherwise, they have failed in their mission. So when you have the people like I have, luckily in my team, who are really both, you know, experts in the customer journey, very passionate about data, always curious, never satisfied, always curious, never satisfied, and who really want to make sure that now we can cater also for these new virtual assistants, which is basically a new type of customer. So how the team is, we will have in the future, we'll have two types of customers. It will be Alex, the real person, Alex, with a pulse. And it will be your virtual assistant who is sometimes helping you to make things work together. And we need to cater for both of your needs. And those needs are, in the bottom line, they're similar. They're data-driven. They're based on your actually needing something. I'm quite aware that we are not the most sexiest brand and provider. It's not like people are coming to our website just to have a good time. Because your washing machine broke. Because you need a new phone, because you're interested in a new game, you have a need, and we need to fulfill it. So we're already working with our team. How can we fulfill the needs of virtual assistants? So we're already thinking, how can we enhance the product page so that it's also readable by virtual assistants as normal person? And that's why I say, Alex, like it's like when search became really a thing. And people were like, oh no, the Google crawlers are coming in. And what are we going to do? That because we are not the destination, people are searching. This is exactly the same. Again, you need to make sure that they find their relevant information why you are the best.
It's my observation that, you know, when catalogs used to exist, all that happened with e-commerce was that those catalogs were digitized into product pages. And some of these big platforms, you know, everyone knows the company I'm talking about. They end up just becoming a massive catalog of product with zero human. And that's why people have been, when you're on a shopping mission, you're looking for something. Chat makes so much sense, right? Because you just describe that element.
Yes.
And when you think about data and AI, you have and I'm not going to say it in local language, but maybe you can, but you have this wonderful saying about human and machine working together.
Yes.
Can you expand on
Menneske,
that?
machine. We are teaching all your podcast listeners some Norwegian.
Yeah, tell me again. Say again.
Menneske or
Menneske,
machine.
machine.
That's easy. Machine is machine. Everywhere.
Okay. And that's separate from human in the loop? Or is it the same? Or is that what you're talking about?
No, this is basically that you have to have both, because exactly the scenario that you are describing, where we would become a catalog where there's no feelings, emotion, and journey involved, that's not where we want to go. That's why I say we have to cater for two customers. We do need to make sure that if you actually want to go and see and also be inspired, and let's be honest here, when we talk about especially technology and electronics, there's a lot of things that people want to find out more about. They want to be inspired. What is the best product for me? How could it work? I need to have some guidance. And you have to just see, how can you make that journey also visually and emotionally adaptable, and something that you kind of be like, oh, I'm intrigued as a person, as well as the machines who are cold and they just need the data. And there's a fine balance, because we see now that the product pages really need to be enhanced, so that virtual assistants can find all the information that they need, also about the service, maybe about returns, maybe about how overall journey is, that normally we would not put at that stage of the customer journey. So how to make that happen without overwhelming the information flow on that page for normal reader. So it's a fine balance, but we see that the common denominator is data quality, and data structure. So there's, in the end, we are quite similar, right? We need to be relevant.
I find it very unique, as in, like, you're one of the few people who talk about that, because from what I do, I talk about retail at the speed of culture, and there's retail at the speed of, there's culture and relevance, but this new world of retail at the speed of intelligence. And I think people often get wrong who the customer is, and the fact that you've split it into, who am I serving? Am I serving an agent that just wants script and, product page detail, or am I serving human? And I don't know if people have got there yet. To be honest, I don't know if they're able to separate the two, an agent shopping mission versus a human shopping mission.
Yeah, because I think it's a lot of work, right? You have to also understand, how are they reading your pages, what you need to technically prepare to be actually relevant and being seen. So you have to kind of go through again this journey and giving your feeds to ChatGPT and the other players out there. They need to be able to understand where you're coming from. Why are you the one who would give the best solution? And there again, it all goes down to the people, because in the end, the virtual assistant is looking for, okay, who has the best price? That's hygiene. You cannot even, that is nothing anymore. If you don't have the best price, you're out. Who has the best price? Who has the best product reviews? Who has the best service reviews? And I think that is kind of also that you should not ignore when you're looking into where you should focus your strength now, because the virtual assistants have put really high value in terms of how you serve your customer. And this is also in the physical store, because, online journey doesn't end when you press the buy button. That's when, the first part is done. Then you have the whole last mile. And if you deliver there, I can tell you, the virtual assistant will not want to get you reroute other customers to that experience. So it really, it forces us to be good as omnichannel player, and with full supply chain. They have nothing and nowhere to hide, basically.
You mentioned at the beginning of the interview, you oversee e-commerce across multiple markets. And I guess each of them with different maturity levels, different customer requirements. How do you build that sort of unified shopping experience depending on the maturity or the way that each market has come? I'm curious, what tools or how have you gone about addressing?
Yes, actually with Nordics, we are quite similar. So we have, of course, differences. Swedish people, they like to talk a lot. And we in Finland, we don't like to talk a lot at all. But in the essence, we look more into not how we are different as nations, but more how we are different as users of what kind of needs we now have in that. So we are looking into more into segments, right? Because you are always on a shopping mission. You're either looking into something that you want to be inspired potentially buying, or you have a crisis and you need something now, right? And it's very important to have the right signals. So we're always looking into what our customers doing on our website. And for that, we have a fantastic tool with ContentSquare where we can actually see, based on their behavior, what is it that drives our customers? What is it what frustrates them? What makes them bounce? And here again, then I don't care if it's, you, Alex, or me, Julia, shopping. I just care about what is happening on the website behavior overall, so we can improve the experience for all our 4 markets. And then at the same time, to be more relevant, we are looking into data. What is the differences? Because there is, for example, in payment preferences, how you communicate about, for example, the last mile options, how you communicate about product reviews. There are some differences between the markets, what people kind of find trustworthy. And that is something that we also then see also based on CCC data. We are doing a lot of surveys as well. We are gathering a lot of data on the NPS feedback to find out how we can then be also more relevant locally. And that's why I'm very lucky to have local teams in each market who are closer to customer pulse, and they can then use our tools and make it more flavored what is happening in their market. Whilst we make sure from the Nordic side and the headquarters that overall that they have the tools and they have the data to make those decisions.
Yeah, I got you. I haven't sent you this question, so I'm curious just listening to you. How do you feel then? How do you compare that to physical in the sense of you have all of this data coming in? Are you the signal? Are you the radar for your stores? How do you translate that into physical? I'm curious if you have thoughts on that.
Yeah, we have. And of course, we have over 400 stores in the Nordics, and we work very closely with stores. We see it also in the last mile. Customers really prefer collecting at store. One thing is about, maybe getting free freight, but that is not really the main driver, Alex. Actually, the main driver is convenience, having also help, and we have the best staff, even though I speak from the brand, it's really true. These guys are really an expert. So people want to come and meet them and ask them extra questions. So we see that, of course, for stores, there is a blind spot because you will not collect that kind of data on that person. But luckily, we have a very strong customer club. And we have over 8.9 million people who are in our customer club in our market. So a very strong presence. And that also helps us when customers are coming. We have very good offers for them. So then they identify also in the store. So then we can also help enhancing that store experience. But this area, Alex, is very difficult. It's not really easy because you cannot really identify the customer when they come in, and how to actually be able to stitch identities together so that you can provide a better experience without adding hurdles. Like, hey, can you scan a QR code, or can you log into? The customer doesn't want to do that. They just came to complete the purchase. So we are working very much on to how can we make it more relevant for the customer to also identify themselves in the store to get more help that is needed at that moment. So but that takes time. That is not really an easy piece of the puzzle to solve.
Sure. Okay. One of the other things, obviously, I love quite a few things you say, but another thing I've seen you say is how you focus in on community, culture, and celebration.
Yes.
And I guess whether or not they're soft elements or not, but how do you see that driving hard commercial results?
That's crucial because, in the end, it's all about people, and people have to. Retail is not for weak-minded. Retail has become really tough. The retail, I think, always has been tough, but I think it's harder than ever than get any kind of margin from hardware or your main products. People are pushed, and we really feel that it's important that you build a culture where people feel that, okay, I know what I'm contributing to and how. So for me, it's very important. Every single team member, we are using objectives and key results in my team. So it's very clear for people what is the company's strategy and how we as an e-commerce team are contributing to that strategy through OKRs. And we are also making the objectives and key results. We are making it together with my eco manager. So it's not only me coming from the top and saying, now we are going to do this. No, quite contrary. When we understand the strategy, then we together make a plan. How do we actually answer to it? And when people understand, because we go to individual levels, so every single team member knows how are they contributing to the full picture. And I can tell you, Alex, that is extremely motivating because people want to bring value and people want to see. So first, when you have a target, then you have to measure it. So then we are measuring every single target is very measurable. So you can really see, am I doing the right things? Are we doing the right things? Where should I improve? And how am I contributing to overall success? So you know that you matter and your work matters. And then when we have those fantastic results, for example, in Black Friday is coming up soon, we celebrate. Yes, and then we have some beers. And that's pretty nice.
I don't know if you get to relax, to be fair. It feels like this must be the most stressful time of the year.
No, but I tell you, I love peak. We call this whole period in Black Weeks. I absolutely love it. It's adrenaline rush. It's stress, but it's positive stress because it kind of showcases all the hard work the whole team had, the grind, Alex, the grind we have put together during the year. It finally pays off. We can have all the efforts, all the tests, all the improvements that we have done to the site. Have they paid off? Are they actually working? So it's a stress test, not only for the systems, but for people. And it's very important that on the Black Friday night, when it's 000 on the clock and Black Friday is over, we do celebrate. There will be some bad songs and a warm beer, but there will be a celebration.
I'm surprised it's warm beer given the temperature locally. But anyway,
well, locally, it's
I love a lot of things that you say really resonate because as I've sort of traveled the world this year, listening to different digital experts or e-commerce experts speak, sometimes they miss some of the big blocks that you're talking about. I'm just curious, as someone who does do a lot of public speaking, you yourself are on that sort of circuit of thought leadership. What's the one question that people ask you that I've not asked you?
I think how one manages to balance it all, basically. How do you make sure that, because now it's tough to be a leader and you have to make constant choices on how do you make sure that you both are, there with the team, how you are actually making sure that you see everyone, lead people from different generations and bring them together as a team, especially in tough times. And I think that is extremely important for people to know that leadership is tough. When you sign up for this, is not for everyone. Again, like retail, leadership also is a choice and it's a job. And for me, it's important to be a coach leader. So I'm very much focusing on the collaborative collaboration between IT and the business, bringing IT and business together, being quite operational myself. So
which is a full-time job in itself.
Yes, but it's like, because you bring people together, you need to know about the operation because you have to then make the decisions as assertive leader. In the end, someone has to make a decision and you cannot make a decision if you're not on top of your things. Yeah. So for me, it's very important not to micromanage, but be that support person that I can actually bring something to the table. So my role isn't to just report upwards what is going on. For me, very important that my team knows that I can help them to do their job even better and be that supporter, that door opener, and also politically the one who also closes certain discussions and protects them.
So, I'll send you a copy of my CV. If there's any room for an ex-digital guy. So, final question. And I want to give you sort of the. So if we think about, you don't work for the company that you currently work, but I'm just wanting to tap into your vision of the future. Right.
Yes.
And I don't want 5 years out because, who knows where we'll be in 5 years. But where do you see the next 2 to 3 years in the sense of what the world what would the digital landscape look like in the next 2 to 3 years? And again, whether or not you want to answer that locally, in terms of what you see within the region, or as a global theme? Whatever you feel, however you want to answer.
No, well, I think we will have to just really redefine these two customer journeys, because you will have customers will understand that the convenience, because convenience in the end is everything. So if they see that, okay, Copilot and the different apps, different virtual assistants that will actually come and be able to, based on data, give more than one solution. Because normally, if you have a problem, you want to maybe buy a new washing machine, not just buying washing machine. How does it fit to interior? Maybe you need to maybe want to rethink the whole bathroom. It's like having that dialogue, and obviously tapping into that dialogue then gives us an opportunity to be able to be more relevant. So I think the future looks like this. The ones who have not structured the data, who haven't fixed, who don't have understanding of their products, who don't understand their service, who don't have the relevant information on their website that is appealing customer, they will lose. And I think, I love how people come and they talk about a lot of fancy things about the technology, AI revolution, how we are going to be all, everything is going to be personalized, everything is going to be smooth, and you probably don't even need to log into anywhere. You just smoothly just buy everything, and then, stuff will just appear at your door when you think about it.
Yeah.
But to actually get there, even close to there, you have to fix your data, and that is a tough job. And fixing product data especially, that's nothing. Not many are like, hey, volunteering. So I think the more analysis, the more insight you can get on your customer, the better for the future. The more you understand why customers should choose you. Be good on the things that you actually promise to the customers. Like I say, sometimes people can have a conflict. They think that if you are driving business value, there's some kind of conflict with customer value. I could not disagree more. If you drive customer value and you listen to the customers, like for example, for us, we take NPS feedback, and we are actually prioritizing our backlog based on what are the issues that customers are actually having. Do you think that will work on conversion? Of course. The example we had last year when we changed our whole front end, we had 21,000 feedbacks coming every week. And we, with AI's help, see here, Menneske machine, with AI's help, we actually managed to understand what are the biggest pain points, and they were in checkout. So what we did, when we changed platform, we didn't change things that people already liked. Why do so? Stupid. No, we took things that were good, and we really changed the checkout based on the feedback we got. And we saw immediately first week 6% more checkout completion. So then again, you have to have the tools in place to be able to measure the success, understand the KPIs you have, understand how success looks like for you, and listen to the customer. And online, they are talking to us all the time, Alex. They are clicking, they are bouncing. You just need to listen. And how we listen is with data. I think the future will be that we will be more. You need to be more data literate. So we're going to have data literacy as a school topic that everyone has to understand. What is data telling you? And we will be working more with virtual assistants. We will. But it will still, in the end, be based on how well you know yourself, your products, your customer.
Yeah, no, love it. I think that's I have lots more questions, but I'm gonna stop it there, because otherwise you'll never get to go and see your family, because I'll be asking you more and more questions. Julia, thank you so much for giving up the time to come and talk to us, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you on stage at one of the many conferences around the world.
Thank you, Alex. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you.